Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Elliot Anon, and today we're going to be talking about boomers. More specifically, why young people are seemingly done with boomers. Boomers, as you guys know, were born from 1946 to 1964, and because they were born during a prosperous time period where they were able to buy houses at 24, they have acquired wealth to the point of being 40% of home buyers in the current market. Keep in mind, boomers are only 19% of the population, yet 40% of the home buyers and 52% of home sellers. So there's clearly a disparity between Gen Z, millennials, and boomers. And a lot of people are sick and tired of President Donald Trump saying that he doesn't want to devalue homes for boomers. He's doing political policies for boomers. Boomers still support things like Israel, which is extremely unpopular with young people because they have cell phones. Boomers still watch AI Slop on their phone. They like it on repeat on Facebook. So young people are really starting to get ticked off with boomers. If you were a boomer back then, you could work some shitty job and afford a house. Young people can make six figures in New York City and they can't even afford an apartment. So people are really upset with that. Then you look at societal measures. You look around at what boomers grew up with. They grew up with white people. Not that I'm saying that's a good thing, YouTube, I promise. I'm just saying that's what happened. I have to say that for YouTube to not get banned. They grew up around white people with the same culture as them, people with a similar ethnic background. They grew up with women who weren't total whores. They grew up in a job market where they could walk into a building with a resume in hand it in, and work the same day. That's what they grew up with. Gen Z and millennials grow up completely different. You grow up with an iPad, or maybe not an iPad if you're a little older, but you immediately have a phone. You're on social media, doom scrolling. By the time you're old enough for dating, the sexual market is ruined by Tinder, women having rights. By the way, that ruins it in itself. Then you add on Tinder, social media, and a bunch of people competing. You are competing with 40-year-olds. You're competing with the boomers themselves for high school girls. Okay, maybe not that low, but college-age girls, for real. Then you get to college and you're surrounded by people there on student visas. You are competing with Indians and people who aren't even from America in your classes. Then you get to the job market and it's ruined by AI and H-1B visas. That's the life of Gen Z. Then you compare it to boomers or older people. They grew up in a time with people who had a similar culture to them. They had communities. They get to high school, meet their high school sweetheart, marry them at 18, don't even have to go to college, walk into a random job with their resume in hand and say, I'm eager to learn. They get a job and 2 years later, they buy a house. And then they say, we're lazy? Years later, we are growing up around people who look different than us, who believe different things than us, who have different cultures than us, who speak Star Wars languages. We have to deal with social media exists, and it's kind of awesome, and it also kind of sucks. Then we have to deal with woman, which in itself is an entire video. But let's just get into it a little bit. If you are not an incel right now, you're either gay or you're a Chad. And if you're a Chad, you are clavicular. By the way, by Chad, I mean clavicular. If you think clavicular is corny and also think you're a Chad, FYI, you're not. You are not a Chad in that case. By Chads, I mean people who get whatever woman they want. They steal other people's woman. Maybe not even intentionally, but the woman want them because of hypergamy, and they never get the cuck. I do not mean some random normtard guy, like probably the person in here saying, oh, I'm a Chad, I have a girlfriend, and she's like beautiful, man. Meanwhile, she's 500 pounds overweight. Buddy, I'm not talking about you. Meanwhile, she's 200 pounds overweight, getting piped by Tyrone on the weekend while he sits in the cuck chair. Not talking about you. I'm talking about the claviculars of the world here. If you do not like clavicular and you think you are a Chad, you are not. If you let your girl go on a girls' night out or on a girls' vacay and you think you are a Chad because you have a girlfriend, you're not, buddy. Or because you had sex with some ugly skank once, not talking about you. I'm talking about the claviculars of the world. Let's say you're in college. You have to deal with competing with 30 to 50-year-old men and all the Chads all over the world. For one mid-girl, because of hypergamy, these people, meanwhile, got their high school sweetheart, married them after high school, and then say, we're spoiled? Okay, seriously, dude? You don't even know how good you had it. And that's just a start, by the way, because like I stated previously, they also got the better end of the stick with their communities and with their culture. Imagine growing up in a society of people with similar cultures who believe in the same God as you, who speak the same language as you. For a lot of people, that's foreign. in itself, no pun intended. Even if you did grow up in a neighborhood that was primarily white or primarily Christian, you had to go to college, and then you sure as hell were not around people who shared the same values and cultures as you. Meanwhile, while you're in college surrounded by a bunch of dipshit hippies, non-white people, gay people, and women who are whores now, they were off buying houses with their high school sweetheart. Maybe boomers just never had to deal with how fallen society would become within 40 to 60 years. They can't even comprehend how far society has fallen because their social media is filled with AI slop of Donald Trump doing some corny shit. They're like toddlers on an iPad, literally. Boomers right now are like toddlers scrolling through TikTok, seeing slop videos of AI slop stories. Except boomer slop videos are of Trump. They're scrolling on Facebook, seeing AI slop, liking it, and believing it's real. There are videos of Trump wearing do-rags and having guns. Like, what are we doing here? They support war with Iran. They're also wrong politically because they still think the world is how they grew up in it. They are rich enough to be in white neighborhoods and neighborhoods surrounded by people with similar cultures as them. They have enough money to do that. So while they're supporting increased immigration, they're not getting the shit end of the stick. Once again, we are. And then they say, you guys are just lazy. Okay, you're just a fucking idiot. How about that? They blindly support Trump because of AI slop videos. I'm not talking about a young Trump voter who is ideologically right-wing and maybe was just wrong in a way or thought he would be better than Kamala. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the boomers who voted for Trump and think he's the best president ever because they're seeing AI slop videos of Trump looking cool or Trump having aura, and they think he's the best president ever. Meanwhile, we're getting all the negatives of that. We're in war with Iran, and that affects us more than them. Then you have immigrants coming in. Trump closed the border. That sounds good on paper. We're still in a huge net negative since Trump ran in 2016, and we're still importing legal immigrants. I mean, negative in a bad way. For immigration, we are a net positive. So it may sound good on paper to boomers, but people who go outside and have to live in these communities know Trump isn't actually saving shit. He's better than Kamala, though, because the border's closed. Okay, cool. And then in 2028, when Republicans lose because Trump is dragging us into unpopular wars and covering up the Epstein files, and the border opens right back up, what did we actually get? He delayed it a little bit. Okay, I don't care. Is that the goalpost now? It shifted quite a bit from the guy who's going to save America to the guy who's delaying it a little bit by closing the border, but still allowing legal immigrants in. So this is what I'm talking about, and this exists because of boomers, because they're idiots. They're so dumb technologically. Please, that can never happen to us, guys. Gen Z, we need to be better. We need to be better with technology. I think we will because we grew up with more technology that isn't a fucking candle. When AI comes out, use it. I don't care how bad it is. It kind of sucks. It makes everyone retarded. But that's what the boomers thought about the internet, and look at them. They are idiots. So don't be this anti-technology guy. That's the moral of the story. Because look at boomers. Are they better read? Probably. Are they better at speaking? Yeah, definitely. And because of that, they think young Gen Z is lazy and dumb. Bro, you can't even use Google. Who are you calling dumb? That's the issue. They could be smarter because they have better critical thinking. I'd say for the most part, they can and should be smarter. They might be smarter in the sense that they actually know how to critically think, and they actually believe ideologically right-wing things. For example, they know transgenderism is immoral. Correct. Can most of Gen Z say that? I don't know. They know that Christianity is right. Correct. The only reason they're so dumb and falling for the slop is because they didn't accept technology. I still look things up in the library. Dude, just Google it. And that's kind of what AI reminds me of, actually, where people say, if you use AI, you're contributing to everyone getting stupider. Yeah, but then you're going to become the idiot because the information isn't easy for you to access, genius. If it takes you an hour to find something out that takes someone else 2 seconds, it doesn't matter how much better critical thinking you have, eventually they're going to get that much more volume to where they have more information. It's not even an IQ thing. Boomers are just dumb because they don't know what Google is. They say, I just want to keep my brain sharp, so I'm never going to Google. And there's some merit to that, but you're actually becoming very fucking stupid in the meantime. Then you're not seeing through issues in society. Boomers say racism is wrong as they live in a white neighborhood and grew up around other white people, but then white people become prejudiced. They act like that's too far. Obviously, genuine racial hatred is immoral. I'm honestly done saying that every video. I've said it every video to this point. Genuine racism is immoral, obviously. I'm done stating it. But prejudice? These boomers act like young people with prejudice are pieces of shit. We have to live in these societies where people are getting killed by you know who. Sorry, I would rather be quote unquote racist than get fucking killed while you're in your gated community. That's the issue with boomers. They're fucking idiots because they didn't accept technological advancements and information isn't as easily accessible to them as it is to other people. So the moral of the story is don't be the same way with future technologies. Don't say, oh, but we have better critical thinking skills. Cool, we have 1,000 times more information than you. You don't even know how to go on X or a forum and see uncensored information. Critical thinking skills? Yeah, okay, and I have that too because I can Google and I can access actual free speech platforms like forums. You are stuck there eating Facebook, psyop, slop. It doesn't matter how much critical thinking skills you have if you're getting fed slop and that's the only thing you are getting fed. So that's the video, guys. That is why boomers kind of PMO sometimes. Look, they're kind of right and they're kind of wrong because they are right-wing. The issue is they are being fed false right-wing psyop slop all the time and they don't understand what Google is. Or maybe they do, but they don't understand how to get to uncensored sections of the internet or access these information sites fast enough, and they become fucking idiots because of that. So that's really the moral of the video. Please use AI. Don't be a pussy. But AI like water. Dude, you're going to become a fucking idiot. It's not worth it. That's the video. Make sure to like and subscribe. Elliot Anon, the GOAT here. We're going to be making videos like this very frequently, brothers.